YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. Really excited. We are working on the Lotus again, and I got a crazy install we're gonna do today. Two parts. I was thinking about doing this in two videos, but I'm just gonna do one video because I don't want to install it and then re-uninstall it and then show you guys how to do those. So we'll do one nice clean install. We are installing a leather center console, which is gonna be a little bit customized. It's from a Lotus EXIGE and a gated selector shaft. How cool is that? So this is gonna be a how to install that. I'm really excited. This is from Greg's Racing Parts, really nice. Let's go ahead and unbox the part that I got. All right, this is the leather center console. How awesome is that? So I got this from Josh, my friend Josh, who owns Vehicle Finder. How awesome this! I can't believe he had this. I said I have to have it. I want it really bad. It came with a goofy shift boot, and I just to remove this shift boot right here, it was like hot glued on there. I just kind of tugged on it. It kind of just came right off. It looks like it was hot glued on there. Pretty unattractive. So we're done with that. That thing's going away. Here it is. We have to shine this up before we install it, so we'll do that in a moment here. But this is a really good looking box. Anytime you get a box that says GRP on it for Greg's Racing Parts right there, ooh, you know there's gonna be some good stuff in here. So what came in this box today is the keychain. Thanks so much, Greg. This is what we're installing. Check this thing out. Ooh, and it's heavy. Oh yes, that's it right there. Look at that, a gated. Look at that, a gated, oh my gosh, I can't even say it, selector shaft. I wanted this thing so bad. I saw this, like I always wanted a manual 2006 Lamborghini. Oh my gosh, and this is a Gallardo. This is gonna look a lot like that. So it came with that. In addition to what also came in the box is the lower mounting plate right here. This will be on the underside of that. That's how it's gonna work. So we have the top visible part. I got mine engraved with the Lotus emblem right here. Let's see if I can get you guys a better angle on here. Yeah, there we go. I think that was like 20 or 30 extra dollars. I wanted that. I thought it looked good. You can do it without it, but since we just installed that steering wheel with that similar badge and the similar color, I thought this is gonna be a really nice addition. And then the last thing that you're gonna get, well, you'll get some stickers from Greg. Thanks, Greg. I'll hook that up. But in addition, you'll get the hardware for it. So here's the hardware that also comes with it. So, oh man, I'm so excited for it. This is gonna look beautiful. So, good thing I already have this one out. So let's clean it and then install this one onto it. And then what we'll do is we'll remove, I'll show you guys how to remove the OEM one. I have a couple extra switches because of my turbo kit, and I need to find out what those are and if I'm gonna continue to use them or not, or maybe just tuck them out somewhere else. Because if I'm gonna use them or not, I might have to cut a new hole somewhere along here or here. We'll see. But let's, first things first, let's clean this up and then mount that. All right, first thing on the chopping block is the leather. Now you might not have one of these, but you might want to change yours up. This is a good time to do that if you're gonna be installing this. I'm gonna use a little bit of cleaner and rub it down and clean it, get all the junk off of this thing. I don't know how long this thing was sitting or not, so what I'll do is just, I'll turn it on its side and we'll just use some cleaner on here and we'll go ahead and get all this junk off. It's leather, so previous oil and grime on there, and then we'll rehydrate it after we install the gated shifter. Okay, now that we got a nice wipe on it, it's drying, it's getting cleaner, it's looking better. There was a lot of grime and junk on it, but that's actually looking pretty good right there. It is used, so there's this is where you're gonna mount it, but there are a little bit of indents on it, but I think this is really good looking. I'm gonna show you guys one of my tricks that I've done for the longest time. Let me go ahead and grab something real quick. All right, I love this trick. So there's a little bit of fray right here. You just take a lighter and just burn the fray off. That right there makes it look so much better. You can actually just go along all this. It just takes a split second. And what it does is it burns off all the extra little strings. It does. You can do it on your clothing too. But I love that because, you know, same with things like in interior, leather interior, this happens a lot too, where you get these little fray things. This right here just makes it look brand new, especially on stitching. But it's very visible that there's a lot of that on here. So I'll just go along the lines of this. Here, look at this real quick right here. Like this is a big, you can see all this, watch this. See, you just burn all these right there, just like that. And it gets all those little extra strings. You can even do it on the actual string right here. Like that, and it'll just burn itself out. Watch, just like that. Do that, and it's all the little details. I promise you, especially since the Lotus is so small, everyone's gonna look at all the details of it. So next thing, here's the actual part. Oh, oof, that looks so good. What we're gonna do is you can just set it on there right now. Oh, it fits, it's like a glove. It's so beautiful. I'm so excited. That'll transform the car. That'll be the key point of the entire interior of the car, this little thing right here. So we're gonna set this back aside. What you also get on the back of this is the retainer clip. I have a feeling this is gonna be very, very easy to install. And especially since my whole thing is going to be out now, you'd have to pull the same out. I'm going to pull my original one out. We'll start jumping into that next, but we'll have this complete and ready before we can do that. He has this, I think it's aluminum machined, pretty nice. But what we'll do is, you can see that there's the two up front. So the two up front are the ones that go up front. So we'll go ahead and put my arm underneath here and then bring this up like that. And what we'll do is hold this up. And then we'll grab some of the hardware kit and start mounting this. The way that I was able to do this the easiest was I flipped it over this way. There is on the back of this one right here is a nut. I was able to hold the nut there and then screw the rear one on. And again, your Lotus comes with this little handy dandy Allen wrench set, or you might want to go buy some Allen wrenches or Allen keys, whatever you call these. And I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this one on a little bit. I'm not gonna go too tight with this. I'll put my finger up to hold that so it doesn't spin on the back. And then from there, I'll go ahead and move on to the two front ones. The way that the front ones are, the keeper plate on the back actually has thread on it. So these two bolts just thread into the keeper plate. This one has the little lock nut. All right, in my opinion, you've just now created the most amazing part on a Lotus I've ever seen. This is so amazing. Oh my gosh. How cool is that? I did notice that there's a little plate right here on this. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that. We'll find out. You know, I think it has to be like that, to be honest. It might have something to do with the way that goes on. But to be honest, it looks like I could flip that around. Now, I don't think I could flip it around because obviously up and over is first. But maybe this is part of it going into that gear. So we'll see. I'll find out and see if that's how it goes. But officially, that is the most amazing looking thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God. All right, now that we have officially have that done, we're gonna set this aside. Oh, it's such a beautiful thing. I love that I really like that there's a padded cushion right there. I think that's pretty cool for your knee to rest on. We're gonna go ahead and remove the OEM one and then we'll install this. I think this will really, really complete the car. Okay, now we are on to the center of the Lotus. My car is really dirty on the interior, very, very dirty to be honest. I think that the guy just used it for track and then it just sat forever. There's some floor mats in there, those black ones out there. I'm gonna remove those. I think I'm also gonna pull the driver's side seat and then vacuum underneath there, and then I will wipe all that down because here, look, it's dirty. Look at this, that's dirty, that's gross. So I'll vacuum and wipe that down. But that is the main thing that we're trying to remove today. There are some extra switches, as you guys can see. It looks to me that I have 3 switches down there and then 2 on top. And then on this thing, there's 2 on top and then only 2 down here. And I think that this is blocked out because it was that little switch is maybe for power windows or power locks. So we'll have to put mine through there as well. We're gonna do a quick shout out to Tony Maples, bro. I love your channel. I love your Instagram, man. I hope to meet you sometime. He already did this video on this install of the gated shifter, so I wanted to give a shout out because I did watch it before I did mine. So I'm taking a lot of the things he's doing to instruct you guys as well. So go check him out. I'll actually link him down below. I really like Tony. Really cool, I think Ardent Red, or maybe Chili Red Lotus ELISE. Yeah, so follow him as well. All right, let's go ahead and jump back on to what I was doing. We're gonna start removing, I'm gonna try to remove this center console first. From what I've seen, all right, so I moved my pretty much brand new seat forward. This is the first bolt that I saw him do, located right down there. So that's the thing, it's a Phillips head. We're gonna do lefty-loosey on that. Holy smokes, that came out really easy. So that came out right there, lefty-loosey, very simple plastic. Now, if you come back over in, I'm pretty sure those are some stereo cables, but there's 2. 1, 2, you guys see those? So those are the next 2 for that plastic center console, so we're gonna do those. We're gonna do lefty-loosey on those 2 pieces. All right, now I have those out. Those are the 2 rear plastics. The cigarette lighter, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that was in there, a little cigarette lighter, charge lighter, whatever you wanna call it. There's a Phillips head there. and then one, I believe, on the other side right there. And then he has to do an Allen on, I said there's two Allens behind the e-brake, which I love that e-brake. And then there's an Allen on the shift knob. So we're gonna do that as well. All right, e-brake is off. 2 small Allen wrenches right there. That totally reminds me of when you buy a shift knob, like in high school, and it's not meant for the car, so they give you that Allen wrench kit. I totally remember those. Those are fine. They're really easy to install, but it's always nice to have that original screw-on. Super Class, they're linked below. They have the original screw-on for my Toyotas and MR2s if you guys want one of those. But those 2 little things, remove that, and now we're off with the... If you're a fanboy of a 2ZZ or Lotus, MR2, Celica, GTS, Corolla, whatever it is, you've always fantasized about having the Lotus and that shift knob. I know you guys have because I have. This thing is awesome. So I did lefty-loosey on the Allen behind it, and then actually the whole knob does have a thread on it. There's a little thread on there, and that threaded onto there. Now that allowed that to come off. So we do have the e-brake off, the shift knob off. Let's do the lefty-loosies on those 2 lower Phillips heads. I was mistaken. That is not a Phillips head down there. It is an Allen wrench. Again, that little Allen wrench kit that comes with the Lotus, or came with mine, is a Savior. So it looks like that. That's what we did. We did that. Now we'll go ahead and jump on the other side and do lefty-loosey. So good, we got all that off. It's wanting to come up. As you guys can see, there's a little bit of room there. It's not coming up though. I think it's due to the Sector 11 racing seatbelt. I'm probably gonna end up removing these seatbelts, the harness. I know people are gonna hate it. I just didn't really think that they are what I wanted. They're cool, but I do like the original just to get in out. For what I use the car for, I'm not gonna be race tracking this, so that Sector 11 roll bar might be for sale. I know everyone likes it, and I put a post up a while ago, should I remove them or should I keep them? Like 98% everyone said to keep it. But anyways, you probably won't have to deal with this, but I'm gonna have to, there's like this little pinch where these seatbelts go in, look right here. There's just, see how he added that little extra, I mean, it's just like a thumbnail or an 1/8 of an inch, but I think that's what's holding that in there, because it should just come up now. I was watching, again, Tony's video, it should just pop up, but it hasn't. So I'll actually remove this seat and then see if I can pull it up towards me a little. Now, if you didn't have the little seatbelt wedge things that I was showing you, you probably don't have to remove the seat, but I am. So what I'm doing right now is a lefty-loosey on a weird 13mm right there on this front bolt. We'll do that one. I don't know why it's a 13mm or if it's actually a 13mm or something in standard size, but there's that bolt. Now we'll continue to do it on the other side, which will be another 13mm. With an extended, we're doing it with an extended socket wrench right here on my Craftsman. We're gonna lefty loose. All right, so that's the next one. There's 2 of these behind, and then the seat should come up. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna set you guys down and move this chair real quick. So let's pull it out. That's gonna be cool. All right, so the chair is out. I gotta be honest, that was super easy. This thing is dirty, so I'm gonna grab a light and shine a light on this so we can get some nice cleaning in here. We'll move all that stuff and vacuum it. Now, you don't have to do that. What are we originally doing? We're moving this. So as you guys can see now, this comes out a lot more freely. It was pinched between here. That's what that was, is pinched between there. Let me grab some light. All right, now you can really see how dirty it was in there. We got some light in there. What I watched from his video, there's so many cables. I would not mind wrapping all that to make that look nice. I know it's hidden away, but I'm super into having it really clean. I will vacuum all this. I know that some of these don't actually have that. It's kind of cool. If you didn't know, there's like a little storage compartment behind here. I have no idea what all that is over there. That looks important though. But there's a cool little storage unit right behind here. I kind of like that. I think these cables are connected somehow to the radio. They look like the radio one, so I'm not sure what that. That being said, we can pull this out, which is what we're trying to do, but there's wires that you have to put your hand up underneath there to pull it out. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll pull that out all in one thing. I'll show you how I did. All right, here's the next big step. So I put the transmission in 3rd gear and then pull the e-brake all the way back up. As you guys can see, this part right here, this shift boot mine was zip tied to the bottom of the reverse block out. The way that I got this out was just pulling on it and wiggling it up so that it would come out, because otherwise it wouldn't come out. So now you just finagle it, they said. I'm trying to do it with one arm. Let me set you guys down real quick and I'll pull it off. Bam, just like that. Now that's all off. There's some extra wires in there for the turbo kit, I can tell. Not all of them are OEM, but overall, there's not too many wires in there. I'm excited to vacuum all this clean. I'm very thankful that I did remove the seat. I do actually recommend removing the seat. Why would I recommend doing that? It's so simple that way. There it is, exposed shifter linkage. Everything is exposed right there. I did see that on some videos that you might have to adjust those, but those little washer nuts are very easy. I just did all this on my MR2, so this is gonna be really easy. I'm gonna lube that up too though before I put it all back. But overall the metal looks pretty brand new. Let me go ahead and start removing all the junk out of here. And I did want to show you guys over here. I'm gonna get some light on this. Let's put it on my workbench. Underneath here, those are all the sensor clips that we're gonna be removing out of there. I mentioned that earlier. There's the old one, or the new one. Here's the old one. So let's go ahead and set these side by side, but I'll have to remove all those to install them on that. All right, so there's a little comparison. Wow. Yeah, I am in love with the leather wrap. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be a tight fit in there. So the way that I'm gonna avoid that, I think, and you guys might hate me, but I might be deleting these seat belts out of here for now. I think I'm just gonna run with the OEM ones. Maybe or maybe not, I'm not sure. Believe it or not, I don't even know if this has an OEM seat or passenger side, so I might have to leave that in there for the passenger. Why am I doing that? Is because there's these little clip things in there that's making it really tight, and I don't want to damage that leather anymore or any further. So that looks really good. The first sensor that you're going to remove is this one right here. This is the emergency flasher sensor. It'll fit right in. Pretty easy. All you do is on the back side of it, there's two little plunger things. You just push in on them right there and it'll pop up. So let's go ahead and slide that in there. We'll clean this one first. So I was just cleaning this sensor like this. This is the one that goes right here. Lotus, built in America. What? That is hilarious. You guys see that? It says Ford. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe there's a Ford part on this Lotus. That is awesome. Hilarious. I cleaned it. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and slide it in there. There's little grooves. You'll be able to see it as well. All right, so that one popped in really nice and smooth. That was awesome. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Quite interesting enough, that whole little rugged piece, just literally as I'm cleaning it, it just comes right out. So there that is. So that's pretty funny. I got all the switches on. So this seems to work, so I'm happy with that. This will work, so I'm happy with that. Those are the little window switches. I do have like a little on and off nozzle click switch thing, which I think I'll put on back on there. If I don't want it, I do have a feeler plug. So I believe that's for traction control, but I do want that switch. The reason I don't have it on there mounted right now is because it's over there. So I'll mount that as part of my final last piece that I'll put it on there. It should fit right into this one or that one. So I shouldn't have any problem with that. As for this switch for the turbo kit, I have no idea what I did, but I'm gonna put it back on. I'm not sure, but I'll just have it connected. I don't want it to be a live wire. And then this switch, I believe, is for, I can't tell you what this is. I don't know. I don't know what this one is, to be honest. It was mounted right here. So if you guys know what that one is, I think that this is like the unlock and lock button, or maybe this was the unlock and lock button. But I do have a power lock on it, so I'll just use that instead. So since I do just have the power lock and the power windows, I will just mount these back together the way that I found them, but I'll just tuck it in underneath the center console. That'll do. Now I've seen actually people put a, Tony did his, he put like a piece of cloth over it so you can't see the mechanical linkage, but I like the mechanical leakage. So I'm gonna be able to, so when you're actually looking down in there, you'll be able to look and see into that mechanical linkage right there. We are really far into this. It's ending up being quite a long video. I don't want it to be like 40 minutes long, so I'm gonna split it into two parts. Before I finish this, I'm gonna vacuum the interior real quick, show you guys that, and then unclick that, remove that last thing right there, the reverse block out. Those are pretty cool that this car has that, but we'll actually be removing that whole thing. I'm gonna show you that. Once I get that removed, I will then wrap up this video and then continue the final install in part 2. So yeah, let's start vacuuming real quick. All right, first off, woo! That is a nice looking tub there, Mitch boy. That looks really good. Very, very good. I like that a lot. That's so much better. Okay, so we did clean that. Before I wrap up the video, I did want to show you how to remove this little thing. So this is the, right here, there's a little clip in here, and then this is a cable. Now watch how this mechanism works. Right there, it pulls on that. So when you pull that up, it then allows this bad boy. So when you pull it up, watch, it allows this thing to move over further, which then it'll allow itself to go into reverse. So it's not going to allow it to go into reverse, but when you pull that up, then it'll allow it, and see, watch. See that? Watch. Nifty, huh? Lotus, you guys are clever, little clever guys. Okay, so now what's gonna happen is this will just come off. Tony, on his, and you could make it really look really nice. He took an in person. This does not look very pretty. Maybe on video it looks okay, but in person this looks pretty grimy. And this is actually gonna be where the shifter is. So that being said, you know, I'm trying to shine this up a little bit. He took a grinder, like a little Dremel with a cutting blade, and cut that off. And then he said, you know, you can never really go back to stock to using this, which I'm never gonna go back to stock. Hello, Selected Gator, those things are sick. I can't wait to get that done. So I will find a way that I get this cut off. I don't own a Dremel, but I saw him Dremel cut this off, and then he's like, oh, you could even cut it back, put it back on. But that's my next thing. That's what I'll do next, is cut that off. But we're currently in really good position. I know that you now have to go ahead and zip tie this down. I don't think the kit came with the zip ties, but luckily for me, I have a bunch of zip ties. Part 1 of 2 done. I think we did a ton of progress. I'm very, very happy. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. Part 2 will come up soon. It'll probably be like a day or 2, maybe 3 from now. But Lotus content is on fire. I love working on this stuff while I'm waiting for the car, waiting for my parts to come to get painted. This is the fun stuff. I'm really enjoying this build. When this gets put together, this is gonna be the big next one. The one little thing that I did do was just putting this little badge on here, and that just really made me have a huge smile. So I love shopping on Greg's Racing Parts. I mean, it just really excites me. He has a lot of good stuff on there. Swing by Greg's Racing Parts. This is available. It's just an amazing piece. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.